In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a really nice multi-step form inside of Go High Level using GetLeadForms. Now, out of the box, Go High Level does provide you with the ability to create surveys or multi-step interactive forms in their own tool. So I clicked on surveys, and I'll just click on this free quote example, and you'll see that they have a survey builder. Now, the main thing to note about the survey is it is very basic looking. It's very generic. And I'll show you what this looks like live on an actual page in a moment here. The other thing to note is that Go High Level Survey Builder is also very basic, and it lacks some core features that I believe a lot of marketers need when it comes to building out these surveys and multi-step forms. And that's where a tool like GetLeadForms comes into the picture. I'll walk through that in a moment here as well. Let's just take a look at this survey on an actual landing page that was built with Go High Level. So I'll go over to funnels, and I'll go to this free solar quote landing page that I've set up. And this is just using a generic Go High Level template. And I'll go to preview. And here's that form that I just showed you. Now, again, this was built with Go High Level. So as you can see, it's a survey. You can click on a response and it takes you to the next step, which is great. But the downside to the survey is that it is very generic looking. It's not really that great. I'll go as far to say that it's ugly. And to an end user or consumer, your prospect who you would want to become a lead, I don't think this is appealing enough to really get a lot of people to submit a form. To me, it screams, I'm a marketer, I'm a business just trying to collect your information. And at the end of the day, there's solutions out there, even beyond GetLeadForms, that allow you to easily create forms that are much nicer than this. Nothing against Go High Level here, but their form builder kind of falls short when it comes to design, when it comes to UI and stuff like that. And I think that's just because they are a funnel builder. They're far more than just a form tool. So obviously forms are never going to be their core focus. Go High Level is an amazing tool. I love it. I probably want to start using it more myself, but I do not intend to ever use their form builders and their surveys. For that, I'll use GetLeadForms, and that's what I'm going to focus on throughout the rest of this video, how to essentially integrate GetLeadForms into your Go High Level funnel. So let's walk through that now. So I'm inside of GetLeadForms here, and basically what I wanted to do was rebuild this free solar quote form that was originally built in Go High Level into GetLeadForms. So we have this question: what is your average monthly electric bill? I took this question and I added it to GetLeadForms. Do you own your home? Added that to GetLeadForms, and then the address information followed up by the contact form, which comes in the next step. I also do like this headline: find out if you qualify below. It only takes 30 seconds. So I basically took all of the copy and inspiration from this form and set it up inside of GetLeadForms, and you'll instantly see it has a much nicer UI and is ultimately going to be more appealing to the prospect who lands on the landing page, which should therefore probably increase conversion rate. So we just preview this so you can see that's pretty much the same. I'll show you how this looks. So this has that same headline here: find out if you qualify below. It only takes 30 seconds. So there it is there. And then we lead in with the question: what is your average monthly electric bill? And then I also have the ability to add a subtitle. Now, one additional thing you're going to notice is the form here with GetLeadForms has social proof, and this is real time. Anytime somebody submits the form, the social proof will count up. So it has that feature, and that's what I mean by Go High Level kind of falls short when it comes to allowing you to add features into your form or survey, where GetLeadForms has some conversion-focused features. Social proof is one of them that you can drop in. You can enable this or disable this within your form. The other thing to note is that the buttons are much larger and easier to see and easier to click. I find when I look at Go High Level's forms that they are very, very generic and just kind of hard to see. You'll see these are giant radio buttons. Older people who probably don't have as great vision will probably have trouble seeing some of this. So you can adjust the font and all this stuff inside of GetLeadForms, and it's simply just a matter of clicking to go to the next step. So just like Go High Level here, we have the do you own a home step. So I'll just say yes. And then here's where we're also doing something a bit different and a bit more optimized for conversion. So the first thing you'll notice is when you look at this Go High Level step, it jumps straight into address, city, postal code. There's no text to lead in saying, what's your address? Or some teaser text or just something to incentivize someone to give you their really personal details here. Whereas with GetLeadForms, we lead in with where are you located, enter your address to get a free in-home estimate. Now we could also add something below, and I would recommend doing something like this. It says we will never share this information, because keep in mind when someone's giving you their home address, this is information that they probably don't really want to part with. And the more trust that you can bake into this step, the more likely you'll see less people drop off. So the other thing to note is in Go High Level, they're asking you for all three of these fields. In GetLeadForms, we have this all consolidated down to just one field using Google Address Autocomplete. So all I have to do is simply start typing in an address, and then it starts to auto-populate, and it fills in the address, the city, the zip code, the country, all of that great information. Then I can click next, and then this takes me to the contact step. So I'll just put in some information here. And then this took me to the contact step in Go High Level. Same situation, they don't really have any text here to kind of like set up the step. Whereas in GetLeadForms, we have the ability to add in some extra text. And then from here, you can enter in your information and click submit and have it hit a thank you step or even redirect further into your funnel. Now, another thing to note is beyond that, GetLeadForms also has some additional features that you won't find in Go High Level. One of the features is OTP phone verification. So inside of GetLeadForms, if I just jump into GetLeadForms here, go to lead delivery, you'll see we have lead verification features. So currently we have phone verification. We're going to be building more verification features into the tool. And one thing you can do is enable on that phone step a verification feature, where if someone enters their phone number, you can actually verify it to make sure it is a real number. You cannot do that with your Go High Level survey, at least not to my knowledge. Maybe there's a plugin that can accomplish that. We have this built natively into GetLeadForms, again, with more verification features coming in the near future. And that's like just one feature we have beyond Go High Level. We have lead notifications. You can get very conditional with your notifications too. Like, for example, you can have notifications sent if someone chooses one step versus another. You can integrate with all sorts of CRMs. We even have Zapier, so you can go beyond just what you see here. There's just tons and tons of features, including one word to just highlight here is pop-ups. So you can have an exit pop-up, a time pop-up, or in this case, this form is embedded. So beyond that, that is GetLeadForms in a nutshell and kind of the differences there. Let me show you how to embed this into your actual Go High Level landing page. So I'm just going to go back to the builder here. So the first thing we're going to need to do is add a pixel script to Go High Level to get this to work. So what I'll do is I'll go to settings, tracking code, and then make sure you're selected on the header code section. And then I'm going to go back into GetLeadForms. I'll just close out the preview. Now, I'm also not going to walk through how to build this in GetLeadForms. We have tons of tutorials and videos on how to do that. I'm just showing you how to get this into Go High Level at this point. I'll go to publish. And then step one is pixel script. So I'm just going to copy the code here and then back into Go High Level, and I'll paste this. Save and save. So now GetLeadForms is basically integrated at this point. The other thing to do is, since I want this form to live on this page, I'm just going to add it here. So I'm not going to get rid of this button yet. And I'm not really going to worry about the design of the rest of this. I just want to get this form right into this section. So to do that, I'll go to Elements, Add Element, and we just need like an HTML block. I'll grab this and drag it in. So it's right below the find out if you qualify text. And now I'm going to go to step 2, choose behavior options, embed lead form, and I'll just copy this little single line of code here. And this basically tells us where we're going to add the lead form. So that's been copied, and I'm going to open the editor here, and I'll paste it in. All right, so that's there. And then I'm actually going to get rid of this text since that's redundant. Then let me just turn off the exit pop-up, that native exit pop-up. So this is the exit pop-up that I'm just turning off so it doesn't keep showing up when I refresh the page. All right, now I'm going to save and preview this. And there's one more step we have to do. We'll have to take the URL here. I'll just take this preview URL, and we will add it as a target page inside of GetLeadForms. All right, so now if I refresh, there's the form. Now, obviously, you can make this fit into the page better. I did this in like 2 seconds. Like, you saw how fast that was. It was just a matter of adding the pixel script, adding that little embed code, and then taking the URL of the page and adding it as a target page inside of GetLeadForms. And then, as you can see, it looks much nicer than that native survey that was built with Go High Level. Now, if you want this to load super fast, like it looks like it's loading pretty fast now, but there's also another feature we have inside of GetLeadForms here. If you go to Publish, and if you go to Advanced and Raw Code and Generate, this gives you a version of the form that will load incredibly fast without even like a second delay. And you can copy this and then paste this into the editor right below your single line embed code like that, and click save. And then when you go and refresh the page, the form will load instantly. The only downside of that feature is anytime you make a change, you have to regenerate the raw code. So that is something that I would recommend doing if you really care about load time of your forms, which most marketers do. So that is how you set up the form and embed it into Go High Level. Now, one thing you'll notice is when I was walking through the actual Go High Level page and the initial form that was there, they had it set as an exit pop-up. So you might be wondering, well, can I go beyond just an embedded form? Can I have the form pop up? And the answer to that is yes, you can. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to jump back into GetLeadForms here, and we'll go to form mode, and I'm in settings. Now we'll go to form mode, and I'll expand this and then choose a mode. It's currently set to embed it. You can have it set to be a pop-up form or both embedded and pop-up. Now, if we set this to either both or pop-up, this shows this pop-up behavior section. From there, you have choices of time pop-up, and you can segment by device. You can set the amount of time it takes for it to pop up. I'll actually turn that off. And exit pop-up. So just like the original form on that Go High Level page, I can have this pop up on exit. So I'll show you what that looks like real quick. I'll click save. Now I'm going to refresh this Go High Level page. There's that embedded form. And then as I move my cursor up to the top, the form opened on exit. It would also open on mobile. Now you can actually, like inside of GetLeadForms, shrink the form down by adjusting the height and the width of the form. I'm not going to do that now, but you'll see that you can easily get it to pop up. You can also get it to pop up on click. So if somebody clicks start the survey here or get a free solar quote, you can have the form open up. And that's just a matter of going to publish and going to step 2, choose behavior options, and following the instructions with trigger with button click. So that's all that there really is to it. Once you get this form set up in Go High Level, you can come in here and see all of the metrics related to your form. So the form starts capturing impressions, engagement, form conversion rates. It tracks all of your leads. You get a ton of additional information that you just won't get inside of Go High Level about your form or your survey. And you can even see your form's drop-off rate. So if you go into the form, if you go to metrics, you can actually see how every single step of your form is impacting your form's overall conversion rate. So one of the biggest concerns that I would probably have about a survey or multi-step form with an address step is the fact that the address step could lead to a high drop-off rate. So that is one of the things I would probably be paying very close attention to. If I begin to see a drop-off rate on the address step, I would probably do something to either address that on the step itself, remove it, or figure out just some way to improve the conversion rate of that particular step. So being able to see the conversion rate or drop-off rates of specific steps is game-changing. And I don't think you get that type of data inside of Go High Level with their native form builder tool. So that's all there is to it. If you have any questions once you get started, feel free to reach out. One thing I should also point out is if you go to GetLeadForms.com, and then if you go to templates, that exact template that I just showed you is actually in the template section. We'll go to Solar. You'll see a whole bunch of templates that you can start with, and there it is. So you can actually start with that Solar template that I just walked through, and you can get this loaded up right into your GetLeadForms account, and then drop this into Go High Level following the instructions that I just gave you.